Hey guys, what's up? I'm Shilpi. Today I'll be sharing my experience as a first time iPhone user. After using Android for like 11 years, I just switched to the iPhone 12 Pro for the first time. My first smartphone back in 2009 was HTC, and then I tried Samsung Note, Google Pixel, and most recently Samsung Galaxy S8. Let me tell you, I'm not a first time iOS user. I have used Apple iPods before. I have been using MacBook Pro at work past 3 years. My main intent was to try it out for myself and have my own first hand opinion about it. And I just ordered the latest iPad because I was looking for a handheld note taking digital device. Will I completely transition to the Apple ecosystem? I don't think so. Not unless Apple releases a round dial Apple Watch. So, what really stopped me this long from switching to iPhone? My number one reason was the fear of overpaying for everything from apps to subscriptions to accessories. Next, I would say, was the concern of having to deal with damages. I have seen way too many broken screens of iPhones in my inner circle of coworkers and friends as compared to the Android gang. Yes, you might argue that it depends on person to person on how they use it, but you tend to believe what you see more, even if it's a small sample size. And I don't want to pay for insurance, period. What else? I mean, who likes to let go of things that you love? I love Samsung camera, and fun fact, when I had this iPhone for testing purposes from work and I used it for a month, I did some testing. I had images, pictures from both my Samsung and the iPhone, and just for fun, I circulated it around with people just to test it out. And 7 out of 10 people actually ended up liking the Samsung pictures more. One last thing that I would like to add is the fun of just being uncommon. I guess everyone I know, everyone around uses iPhone, and just to be different is sometimes feels good. Alright, so all of that sounds valid. So why switch now? While I was looking for a change, it was not enough of a motivator, I would say. The MacBook Pro and the Android file transfer software, they just despise each other. They are never friendly. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So the whole experience of file sharing from my Android phone to MacBook Pro just sucked. And not just that, there is this App Store exclusivity. Somehow, a lot of apps that I come across or hear about are released on iOS first. Whether it's an editing app or a Warby Parker virtual glasses try on app that uses AR, if you are an Instagram power user, the reality is that there is just more options out there in the Apple App Store compared to the Google Play Store. Speaking of which, the claims of better cameras and better video capabilities definitely made me more inclined towards trying this out for myself and see what's out there, what's possible on the creative front. After all, camera is the app that I usually end up using the most, anyways. And because I had a good experience with MacBook, I thought it's worth a shot and I'll see how I like it. And finally, while being uncommon can be fun, sometimes it sucks when you're like, wait a minute, everyone else has the photos from the event except you because, yeah, the photos were airdropped and you missed it. Anyways, now that I've taken this plunge and I've used this thing for 12 hours now, let me tell you what are the things that I love about it and the things that I don't like as much. Well, the look and the feel and the overall user experience has been very refreshing so far. The speed, the interface, the ambient background, all those little things that together make up for a good user experience. That's how Apple positions themselves and they deliver on that. And then this time around, there are features like night portrait mode, wide angle, Dolby video, and all of that. Definitely curious to try out and see what's possible with these additions. And the reason I chose iPhone 12 Pro is not because of the features that we just mentioned. I was like, if I'm paying load shit of money, why not make a statement? It's a light tone, subtle gold, and one of the best looking iPhones I have seen people using so far. If I had to point out a few specific things, I'm excited to see what all I can do with the Shortcut app. It's a refreshing spin on the widgets and it's well packaged. Finally, I do want to call out that they email you this option of scheduling a free session with an expert who can walk you through the quick tips and tricks and how can you make the most of your iPhone. They also send you links to quick start videos. While I would personally prefer self-learning online, I wouldn't mind easy access to these kind of things. These options, I believe, could be particularly helpful to those who are switching to iPhone for the first time. Setting up the phone was not that hard, especially the apps that run on cloud services. It took me all in all 30 minutes to get all my app installed and signed up. All in all, it was pretty easy to get started with, except for one thing that I'll talk about in a bit. Now, the grass on the other side is always green. Yep, there are obviously things that I do not like as much, but I have to say none of these came as a complete surprise to me. I did see this coming, but let's put it out there just in case you're looking for a reinforcement for why not to buy iPhone just yet. I mean, for a first-time iPhone user, you'll have to spend on basic things like a power brick. To me, it was like a never-ending experience of buying one thing after the other, starting from MagSafe charger to the charging brick, a case that supports MagSafe charger. And if you don't already have a Bluetooth headphone, there goes another must-have accessory. I mean, seriously, you just keep paying for stuff. The second one is anything backup related, which is super straightforward, is through iCloud, which obviously was not very helpful to me. And moving contacts, as expected, was not as simple as that, moving it through iCloud, but it wasn't that hard either. You can import it to your SIM in the Android phone before using the same SIM in the iPhone. But here's the thing, if you're an avid WhatsApp user, you are definitely not going to like the fact that there is no easy way for you to transfer all your chat messages and chat history directly to your iPhone. While there are hacks, it's not optimum. You have to go through these hoops to get it all done, otherwise, you just end up losing the WhatsApp history. And I've got to mention this, after paying for all this additional stuff, the upselling never ends. The notifications of upgrade your iCloud, what's new on the Apple Store, set up your Apple Pay, all of these will just keep showing up unless you turn the notifications off. And finally, there's a learning curve of shortcut and stuff. Android users, we are used to seeing the menu options on the top, but in iPhone, you always mostly see it in the bottom. But the learning curve associated with all the tips and tricks and shortcuts is just a one-time thing, so it's not a big deal. So that was from me to you, the personal experience of how I feel after switching to iPhone after 11 long years of being with Android. If you are thinking of doing so and you have questions, please let me know in the comments below.